Yo. So, just started recording. I'm gonna leave that facing that way. It's kind of just starting to rain. I'm almost thinking, I don't know, I guess we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go out to the street. Leave this here. I'm thinking it's already too late to go over to the where I normally stand. But I might be able to be over here. This is also more to the north. So as I was telling the OBS view, I'm gonna focus on some right-sided things to try to see if it draws lightning out, as well as there's literally a verse that says the voice of Yahweh sharpens lightning shafts. So I'm gonna focus on talking and trying to sharpen some lightning shafts as well. Hopefully we can get some good footage of lightning that I can share with you. Again, my hypothesis being, I believe the 7 churches of Asia in Revelation are just like a series of challenges, and if you complete those challenges, you get what it says, culminating with being seated on the throne of Yahweh with Jesus. So, being Yahweh/Jesus, I think that includes having lightning power and power over all sorts of forces of nature. But this seems to be something that would be supernatural, but also very testable in my location. It's kind of hard for me to test volcano power, so you can see it on the webcam stuff, but I can legitimately just like talk to a storm and maybe you'll see some, I'd say it's been pretty repeatable thus far and reproducible thus far. Here, let's see. I don't know why this won't focus correctly. Alright. As I was saying, this is north. I'm currently looking like directly north. So this is actually the hardest spot to capture stuff because everything is in the way of all these trees. And like I can kind of go to the driveway and maybe catch stuff, but then I'm standing in the rain. So, let's see, maybe I can do that. Rain seems to be not so super heavy right now. I'm getting rained on more than I want to be honest though. Also, I can't capture, if it's north, I can't really capture it from my room. So, just a bit more problematic that it's coming from this direction for those reasons. You know, on the subject of this kind of being like a science kind of like a science experiment. Hold on, let me clean the lens off. So, I messaged a friend of mine, Joel, who's a Rice University mathematics graduate, one of the more intelligent people that I know, or one of the most intelligent people that I know, as far as human intelligence is concerned. And I sent him some of the videos. I mean, very clearly to me, if he'd gone through them or even looked at the examples, it's like it looks compelling, to say the least, what I'm saying and whatever. And clearly there's a pattern where it seems to be like something that I can reproduce over and over and over and over, right? I guess that's what it means, that I can reproduce it, but I asked him, like, is that going to be enough? That it's like I'm sciencing this out and it's pretty reproducible, or is it going to have to be some kind of obvious instance? And he was like, you're going to have to be like a Fantastic Four character. That's what he texted me back, which none of them have to deal with storms. I guess the Human Torch's name Johnny Storm or something, but he was basically indicating it's going to have to be like really obvious for it to convince people, which I suppose maybe I can understand. But also, if science is supposed to be like patterns, observable patterns, and things that are reproducible, then that's not science. What you're asking for is something else. But I do think at some point, my thing to him was, well, what about Yoda? Because I am Yoda. It's literally my name. And they literally gave Yoda in Star Wars, lightning power. And he just like points up and the storm, like lightning's down. And I asked him, like, what if that's the case? He was like, I think he's like, well, if you Yoda down some lightning, which I think I already have, to be honest. You can see it on enough recordings, but it's kind of like, don't focus on, you shouldn't, like, I don't exactly remember his wording, but it's something like, if I were you, I wouldn't focus on supernatural stuff. And it's like, he's one of the people that I talk to about conspiracy stuff and about how strange the world is, and he seems to want to be like a Christian. And kind of my point is like, well, what else? Like, what? Am I gonna stop focusing on this, like, possibly being Yahweh on the throne and like pulling lightning out of the sky and developing superpowers or something like that? I mean, being Yahweh on the throne, to like go to bars and have sex with random women, as like most, like, that's like the thing that most young guys or like focused on doing. It's like that doesn't sound appealing to me, honestly. To be fair, I'd rather go for the gusto here. Because I think if I am Yahweh on the throne, I can get much more than that. You know what I mean? So, I'm going to be focusing my efforts on the drawing lightning from the sky thing. It's a little difficult to figure out where to stand here to not get completely soaked, yet also capture this. Maybe I'll just be right here. Maybe instead of focusing on like this time, instead of focusing on my right side, or at least at this moment, it'll be more on my voice because I can talk while this is going on. And you know, it's more difficult for me to set up a shot where I'm in the shot and doing things. Well, I might do that in a minute. So that was pretty interesting when I did that last time. But here, I'll stand on my right leg and we'll see what happens. Or I'll focus on my right leg. Hold on. Shifting all my weight to my right leg, and now I'm just on my right leg. But I kind of got more into it. Maybe I should do that, because that seemed to immediately have an effect. Like, kind of what I was saying earlier is I think most guys in our society today, most people just settle. And like, I don't want to settle. You know what I mean? I don't want to settle for... I'll go for everything instead of like settling for the world that seems to be presented to me. Because I think the world that can exist is so much better. But I don't think we're gonna get there by like normal means, if that makes sense. Let's see if I can. I could see the flashes on that one. Alright, I'm focusing on pressing in hard on my right leg. I'm like literally only standing on my right leg. I'm not exactly sure how that looked on camera. I'll have to, I'm going to watch back over the video, but I saw at least 2 instances where it seemed pretty obvious. If this comes past, what I might end up doing is going back up to the room and then adjusting the camera that way so I can then it's just a better angle. I will say I'm already soaked and uncomfortable. And I don't think the GoPro's caught much, to be honest. I think maybe this has caught some interesting things already, but oh my god, no! It was like, oh my god! How does this happen this much? There's enough videos of where I move the camera to check the lens and wipe it, and then I can tell there's like a, I don't think you caught that, but like literally right there, it was just like very vivid. Sometimes I feel like I'm trolling myself. In fact, a lot of the time. That's how I should have handled that earlier. Okay, well, whatever, it's just a lightning strike, but it was a pretty nice one. I guess I'll talk here. So, again, one of the reasons that I thought I would try talking more specifically is that as I have seen some interesting things happen when I'm speaking. You know, Psalm 29, as I was saying, I think 29, like 3 through 7 is pretty clear about, you know, like the psalm begins with like almost like an introduction, and then the middle part of the psalm is specifically about like Yahweh's voice being attached to storm-related things. So thunder, lightning, like stripping the trees of the Kadesh. So, you know, that's something. Probably even lightning does also, but you know, lightning strikes a tree and then, but just very clearly appears to me that the voice of Yahweh is associated with storm activity. So, and there's been some interesting things where it almost seems like I'm like, since you're taking it in from the perspective of like a viewer, right? But I'm just here talking. But it's almost like as I'm narrating, it's interacting, you know? I mean, that even seemed pretty interesting. Like, my hand enters the frame, and, you know, it's as if I'm narrating a story. Like, I have director power over the storms or something like that. But, you know, my point is, it's Yahweh, and Yahweh is a spirit. And, like, you can make all this stuff happen around me as I'm doing it. It's not impossible for Yahweh. It's not even hard, I would assume. So, and one thing is, I'm completely soaked. Like, probably should have put on a jacket. Kind of like part of the storm just like went overhead, but like it looks like the like lightning core, like, you know, the core part of the storm that has lightning is north, but let me see what this looks like from the balcony. I might even get there and just decide I can see less, so. Or maybe I'll see more. I mean, we'll see what happens. Okay, if I start talking now and there's lightning, is that going to be a sign? Or honestly, this storm everywhere else was like a lot stronger. Which, you know, to be honest, I mean, it is kind of a disturbance to have like strong storms go by so consistently. But I think there's a part of this storm that is supposed to, I mean, I don't know, it looked like its own individual thing, and it was more over by San Marcos and Austin, like last time I checked. And like this original storm had been over that area, so it's like, I guess, a second part of the storm coming from around there. And maybe that, which I think is coming a little later tonight, maybe that will have more like kick to it, because also when I was looking at it, there was like, this had like a decent amount of lightning in it, but it wasn't particularly, it wasn't crazy. But the other one had so much lightning, it was like you couldn't see the name of the area that it was in, because the lightning was literally covering everything so on the map. So that might be, actually, if that's gonna be over us, that might be the storm to catch. So I might end up going back inside and like, here, let me check something real fast. The play here might be to go back inside and check on it, and if it's still going, I guess I could start another video, or I can maybe just leave the camera on and we'll see what happens. And then if there's something coming later, I can just kind of like reset, and probably wouldn't make them both one long video with like a big gap in between that's recorded. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this camera in. We'll see. I'll also be able to sync the cameras at that point. And then I can use that to sync this other thing, or this other camera. So that's what I'm gonna do. You got any other lightnings that you wanna lightning for camera? I guess not. So, look. $32, $56, $57, $58, $59, $33. Alright, just making sure you can see that. Realized if I want to keep these synced up, it's, I gotta have like certain points that I can recognize really quick and sync them up on. Okay, hold on. Probably not that interesting of a view. Soaked. Okay. Oh, it's good. All right. Maybe something is gonna kick up this way. Let's see. I'll take this camera out here. Oh, hold on. First things first. It's overloaded. How's this overload, like, how is there any encoding overload? I have a 13900K and a 4090 and 64 gigabytes of 6000 megahertz RAM and like